our people don't even know which day. They consider the first day of the week as their Sabbath day. But when you get in the New Testament, it tells you that the Messiah rose on the first day of the week, which was on a Sunday. But yet and still, seeing the Saturday was a Sabbath day, they didn't want to keep that day. The Euro Gentiles set their own day in place, which is Sunday, which is the first day of the week. And if you look at your calendar will tell you that Sunday is the first day of the week. Verse 9, 6 days shall you labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yahweh your Elohim. In it you shall not do any work, you nor your son, nor your daughters, nor your manservants, nor your maidservants, nor your cattle, or any stranger that is within your gates. For in 6 days Yahweh made heaven and earth. Now people are going to tell you every day is a Sabbath. Well then, if every day was a Sabbath, nothing never would have got created. Verse 11, for in 6 days Yahweh made heaven and earth, and the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the Sabbath day. Wherefore Yahweh blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. In other words, he blessed it and set it aside for his people to worship on. And this is what lets you know that the nations are not his people, because the nation decided they didn't want to worship on this day. They're going to worship on the day that they want to worship on, and they put it on Sunday simply because Satan truly is the angel of the sun, and that's who they worship, Satan. Verse 12, honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long upon the land which Yahweh your Elohim give you. We need to read this constantly to our children, because this is the only commandment that has promise to it. And our children today, we can very well see that the adversary of the devil have them gagging at gnats and missing camels, and all of them are headed straight for destruction. And we know it. But guess what? We can't do anything about it, because Yahweh is the one that's leading this thing. Verse 13. What happens is this. The reason why I said that is because when you read Deuteronomy 28th chapter and see the curses that was put upon our people, you can very well see why in certain areas we are powerless to do anything about certain things. Verse 13. You shall not kill. You shall not, it really means you shall commit no murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. You shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, or anything that is thy neighbor. Now, when you read that, what you do is see what's wrong with it. What is wrong with the things we just read? But see, the church say, well, we don't have to do that. So what they did was this. They gave their people a license to commit sin, and then they tell our people, say, well, look, all you got to do is have faith, and you're going to be saved. In other words, live the way that your foolish heart tells you to live upon this earth, and Yahweh is not going to require it of you. The only thing he's going to say is he's going to tell his son, say, go down there and get the people and bring them on up here into heaven. So everybody on earth is going to heaven. Haven't you noticed that everybody that died, some people that you know, never even been to church, and because their parents are in church, then they have the funeral service at the church, and the preacher get up there and say, well, he's in heaven there now, and you look at him laying right there in that grave, and they say, well, in the casket rather, and they say, well, his spirit is in heaven. What you do is you get in Genesis and read the creation of man, and man became a living soul, not a quickening spirit. Let me go in here and read some things to you about what happened with the prophet David, some things that was told David, and we'll see if the things that was told David has to do anything with what's being taught in the church today. They say you're going off to heaven, but let's see what Yahweh told David pertaining to these things. I'm going to pick this up at 2 Samuel chapter 7. Excuse me. 2 Samuel chapter 7, and I'm going to pick this up at verse 8. Now what had happened was David decided he wanted to build a house for God. But Yahweh didn't want David to build his house because David had too much blood on his hand. David was a warrior. And David had too much blood on his hand. So let's see what Yahweh had to tell David because David wanted to build him a house. I'm going to pick this up at 2 Samuel and verse 8. And this is called the Davidic covenant. We read the covenant, the Adamic covenant. We read the covenant that was made with Abraham, and we made the covenant that was made with Isaac and Jacob, and we read the covenant, parts of the covenant that was made with our fathers in Exodus 20, pertaining to the law code. And now what we're going to do is read the Davidic covenant, and we're going to cover some things going to show you what's going to be set up here on this earth. Once again, the number here is 448925614. I'm going to pick this up at 2 Samuel 7 and verse 8. Now therefore, so shall you say unto my servant David, thus saith the Adonai Elohim, I took you from the sheepcote, from following the sheep, and made you ruler over Israel. And I was with you whithersoever you went, and have cut off all your enemies out of your sight, and have made you a great name, like unto the name of the great men which are upon the earth. Moreover, I will appoint a place for my people Israel, and will plant them, that they may dwell in a place of their own, and move no more. Neither shall the children of wickedness afflict them any more as before time. No, wait a minute now. He said, now Israel was already in the land. David was the second king in Israel. But what did Yahweh tell him? He said in verse 10, moreover, I will appoint a place for my people Israel, and will plant them, that they may dwell in a place of their own, and move no more. Neither shall the children of wickedness afflict them anymore. Well, that lets us know right there that the children of Israel will be out of captivity until they be redeemed, until our fathers be redeemed back out of captivity. And the thing that's beginning to come upon America now is only the beginning of the things that's going to lead to our redemption. Let me go ahead and finish this up at verse 11. And since the time that I commanded judges to be over my people Israel, and have caused thee to rest from all your enemies, also Yahweh tell you that he will make you an house. And when your days be fulfilled, and you shall sleep with your fathers, I will set up your seed after you, which shall proceed out of your bowels, and I will establish his kingdom. He shall build an house for my name, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever. Now by him saying forever, we knew that wasn't Solomon, because Solomon kingdom wasn't established. It was David's kingdom that was established. And right at the end of King Solomon's rule, Yahweh divided up our house and began to tear the house down simply because our father just refused to do what Yahweh said, just like we refuse to do it today, listening to strangers. Verse 14, I will be his father, and he will be my son. If he commit iniquity, I will chasten him with the rod of men and with the stripes of the children of men. But my mercy shall not depart away from him, as I took it from Saul, whom I put away before you. And your house and your kingdom shall be established forever before you. Your throne shall be established forever. According to all these words and according to all this vision, so did Nathan speak these things unto David. A question was asked, how is the New World religion going to be manifested? Quite simple. Quite simple. The Pope of the Roman Catholic Church. See, you got to look at Christianity and see what it is. It's the world's biggest money maker. They're the number one banker in the United States every Monday morning. They're the number one banker. Organized religion is a gold mine, and we understand that to be a gold mine. And the reason why the adversary of the devil gave our people these religions is because religion means what? To hold back. And he gave us these religions to keep to keep us, the children of Israel, blinded, along with his unrighteous sons who go to war when they feel like it and kill off everybody they feel like it when they want to. And we can go back at World War I, World War II, the Civil War, what happened to the American Indians and so forth in this country here, and the slavery period. And we can very well see that Satan has some wicked, wicked children here in this earth, but his desire, if you read Revelations 12, his plan is to destroy us as a nation of people. Now, once this new world order is set up, what you need to do, let me go and read something about that. I'm going to, in the book of Revelations, and I'm going to read something about that, trying to get to this question that was put here on the table. I'm going to go here in Revelations Revelation chapter 13, and I'm going to pick this up at verse 1. Now you can also pick up some insight on this in the prophet Daniel. Pick it up at the 7th chapter of Daniel and start reading up to through chapter 12, and you'll find, if you compare the symbolism in Daniel in Revelation, you'll find out that the angel himself interpreted all the symbols, so you don't have to be afraid of Revelation. All you got to do is look at the symbols and see who he's talking about. Revelation 13 and verse 1. And I stood upon the sands of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his head the name blasphemy. Now this ain't no beast that got all them horns and all that junk on his head, what's reading. If you get back in Daniel, what you're going to find out that the 7 heads were 7 rulers that would rule the whole earth. And the first one started with Nebuchadnezzar. If you go back with Nebuchadnezzar, read your history books, and come up through there, you find out that the Caesars was the 7th rulers upon this earth. Okay? And the 10 horns, after Rome fell in 476 AD, the angel Gabriel told Daniel that there were 10 horns, and those 10 horns were 10 kings that shall arise. Was from the time that Rome fell in 476 AD up into the Second World War. If you read the history books, you'll find out that there were 9 kings that came up so far. Hitler was the 9th one that tried to revive the Holy Roman Empire. The 10th one is on the scene today, and the only thing we're waiting for is for them to crown him so the world will know who this 10th beast is, the one that the Messiah is going to destroy. Daniel told you, in the days of these kings, the Most High is going to set up a kingdom which shall not pass away. Well, we know that no kingdom has been set up, no righteous kingdom has been set up, so we know that during the time of this 10th king, at the tail end of the 400-year captivity of our people, that the Messiah is going to come and set up a kingdom on this earth. Verse 2, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard. And you check, you'll find that was Alexander the Great. It refers to the speed with which he conquered the earth, only 12 years. The feet were the feet of a bear, where they called Russia the bear, and the second empire that came up on the earth was the Medo-Persian Empire. And his mouth as the mouth of a lion. The mouth of the lion was the Arabs that ruled the earth in 606 BC. And the dragon, meaning Satan, gave him his power and his seat and great authority. So the 4 nations, the 4 empires that came up on the earth were set in place by who? Satan, the adversary of the devil. And when you go back and read the exploits of man since the first empire has come up on the earth, you can very well see why the earth is in the shape it's in today, because people don't do anything Yahweh say do. Verse 3. And I saw one of his heads, it was wounded to death, and the deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. Rome fell in 476 AD, and now here it is again, coming up with this new world order, this one world governmental system. And the problem is, America can't be a part of that simply because America's not going to give up her power to anybody, and we know that. And this one world order is going to be set up in Europe. It was the German Holy Roman Empire that fell, and it's going to be the German Holy Roman Empire that's going to be set back up again. Verse 4. This is Revelation 13 and verse 4. And they worship Satan, who gave power unto this empire, and they worship this empire, saying, Who is like unto this beast, and who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 3.5 years. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, and to overcome them. And power was given unto him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. Now it says in verse 7, and it was given unto him to make war with the saints. Well, let's go back and look at that.